path. Lead me in the truth and teach me. For thou art the God of my salvation. On thee do I wait all the day. Yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Amen.
Oh! Hey, yo, the sun never shines here. Man, it's dark all the time here. No law, justice is blind here. It's just criminals and crime here. Evil.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of ManPower. That song is entitled Welcome to Hell. And it's DEESE, 985 DEESE, featuring Mr. Eric Butler. And I really recommend that you go and check that jam out because, he really gets down. Everything you have to say in there is so truthful, and it still applies to today. Today's show is where do babies come from? And the answer is these nuts, okay? And so we're going to look into it. We're going to get down with it because they say that possession is 9/10 of the law. So if possession is 9/10 of the law, then we understand that all life originates with inside of the male testicles. All right. So if we are the seed bearers, if we are the one who plant the seed, then how can the fruit not be ours? It's just impossible. Okay. Now, who is it that has the power to go against us and prevent us from being fathers? Who is it? Who is that enemy? All right. Because a lot of men will waste time trying to fight against the woman, fight against, the situation she is in, and ignoring that she doesn't pass the rules or the laws that she live up under, okay? She just abides by them. But who is the people that set this up? And why did they set it up this way, okay? And with the product that they're producing, who's benefiting from this? Because we know society isn't benefiting from it. Mental health is just running rampant all throughout the country, everywhere. Okay? And the number one cause of mental health problems is absent fathers in the home. I'm telling you. Okay? The number one cause, teenage suicide, is absent fathers in the home. I'm telling you. Because when you look at single father homes, you're not dealing with that same rate. All right? The drug problems that we're having, okay? It's because of the government has worked overtime to remove the father from the home, to paint a society to make it normal for single motherhood. And then they have incentivized it and given it all of the goodies that it takes so that it can appear that single motherhood is successful. Why do they want this appearance on the outside while the fruit is rotten to the core on the inside? Because with that appearance, they can pull all of the people they want into low-wage income jobs because of defunct education. They can keep their correctional facilities full so that they can keep the titans of industry pockets full. They can also shape and mold the type of society that they want. The people who are making the rules are the ones who have changed Title IX, not the people who have to live under it. The people who have to live under it and are subjected to it, they don't agree. They're just the victims to it. Listen, if the law followed what medical advice said and gave the children to the fathers, all right, we would have a society where we would not be the world's leader in locking people up. We would have a society where we would not have all of these males running around thinking that they're a teenage girl, okay, or any of the other mental illness that they are displaying that we are trying to now pass off as normal life. All right? Who or what has the power to affect us in this manner? Okay? It's the Attorney General, it's family court, it's child support, it's the federal government. Men, it's time for us to petition our government for a redress with this child custody situation. Because we understand, in order to produce a society that is capable of defending this country, a society that is capable of sustaining this country, we need men to be men, and we need the role of men to be respected. We need the role of men to not be competed against with the lady. We can no longer allow our government to continue to drive this wedge between us. All right? And they compensating one party and telling the other party, hey, we're going to get them for you. All right? So they over here telling ladies that they're going to give them this money, right? But then they got to partner with them to help them get the men. This is the same ideology that was used to separate the indentured servants by color. Okay? This is the same system that's used to separate people and have people who think because they making $75,000 a year, they are different than the people that's making $30,000 a year, and then they both end up with a catastrophe and they both end up homeless. You understand? We cannot continue to fall for these schemes and games and look how far the wedge has been drawn to where we have females that are publicly saying they don't need a male to live. Do you realize how delusional that is? Men have created the chairs, everything that they are using to communicate, even from the clothes that they're wearing, okay, to sit there and say they don't need a man. Without men, ladies would not exist, because he wouldn't have had nowhere to take a rib from to make you. I just believe in going to the basics, going to the beginning. Because once you go to the original ownership, once you go to who originally owns it, that's when you can get down to the chase. The children do not belong to the ladies. They belong to the men. Nasty men, sinful, low-down men have come together and concocted this system where they're selling men a false bill of goods of, work hard, that's the reason why you're always away from your family. That's why you don't have the time to put in the love and the nurture and the care for your family that you're supposed to, right? So then they telling the woman, you are it, and without you, this family wouldn't be able to make it. This family wouldn't be able to do it. So now you're feeding them both a delusion to separate them, okay? And he's so busy wrapped up into working so hard and trying to produce that he can't keep up with the delusion that's being fed to her, okay? And she's so far with the delusion that they feeding her that she don't realize that he's the one who make the milk and eggs and cheese. But she can fall for it because they got a plan to give her the milk, the egg, and the cheese. And where he was already giving it to her, now they're going to turn and take it from him like he wasn't doing it before. Okay, we have to understand that it is not the man and the woman who should be at each other's throat. Okay, men, until the ladies understand, we have to join forces, and we have to be willing to go on strike. We have to be willing to have days worth of strike in this country where we're saying we're not reporting for work. We're not going to be police officers. We're not going to be firemen. We're not going to be politicians. We're not going to be anything. We're not turning on the electricity. We're not reporting to the sewer plants. We're not driving the trucks. We're not flying planes. As men, we are saying if we cannot be treated as parents, okay, in this country, and given our sons so that we can have first right of parental custody of our sons, then, we're not good enough to do that. We're not good enough to do anything else. Because if you're the type of man who's working so that only you can have personal gain, you're a fool. I know everything I do is for my children. Everything I do is so I can make a better world to hand to my children than what was handed to me. Okay? We are in World War III. All right? If we are good enough to go fight and die for our country, we are damn sure good enough to be given custody of our sons when a man and a woman separate. And we want it to be the law. We want it to be the law because we know, first of all, that it's going to create a much better society. We're going to have productive people who are contributing. We're going to have less violence. The criminal justice system is going to be far less necessary if we allow men to raise the children. Okay? Teenage suicide is going to plummet. Teenage runaway is going to plummet. Okay? Teenage crime is going to plummet. Okay? What will happen is strong, independent people will start to turn out and be able to change things in the government, and the people that's holding on to the thresholds of power so tightly will eventually have to loosen their grip, because men make strong, independent, people who are challenging and ready to face the challenges that are put to them. And that's what our government don't want. Men, we have to join forces together. And we have to say, we are fathers and we will be respected as such. And that means that when a man and a woman separate, the male child will go with the father. No negotiations. Now, for the fathers out here who say, hey, look here, I'm too busy, I got this going on or that going on, I'm asking that, we come up with some very draconian things to do to you. All right? Like, really, take like 75% of your pay. 50% goes to the kid and 25% goes to an account for the kid for when he make 18. You know what I'm saying? Because you cannot say my job is more important than my child. Now listen. There is only one entity in the United States of America that's powerful enough to make the mother significant and the father insignificant. Can you guess who that enemy is? Because it's not the woman. It's not the female. She just is the victim in this situation because the government has decided that they want to create a certain type of society. And in order to create that society, they cannot have a male-dominated society. And these men are nasty. Do understand that this is all really a part of their original motive. Okay? Because they want to be able to get 50, 60 years old, 50, I'm in my 50s, early 50s. They want to have their hair all gray and stuff like this, but they still want to go and be able to squeaky on 22, 23, 24, 25-year-old. Now, me, I think that's disgusting, but that's just how I am. I'm at that stage in my life where I appreciate that her hair looks like mine. Okay, if she's my age and she naturally just isn't graying, that's wonderful too. All right, but we need to, above all, push for a male-dominated society and for men-led families that are raising the children, because that's what the Father Jehovah intended, and we are here to do His will. Okay, don't believe the lie that we are here to pick between right and wrong. We have the choice between right and wrong. We don't. Okay, our choice is to do His will. That's it. That's it. Don't believe nothing else. Now, I want to change it up a little bit just for a second, because Sister Ali said something a while back, and it stayed with me. And when I was in Texas, oh boy, they love theyself some damn weenies. weenies, links, sausage, all that kind of mess. Oh, they go crazy over it. You understand me? And I mean, they know how to cook it up, Jack, to where it tastes so good. Now, it is pure D, low down, no good for you. Nothing but a cancer causer. If you know anything about food, you know weenies, that sandwich meat, sausage, links, all that kind of stuff is like a carcinogenic. But this is their historical food. When I'm in New Orleans or other places all over the United States of America, hog guts is something that black people celebrate eating, right? That's their historical food. But white folks' historical food is the turkey, you know, on Thanksgiving, the dressing, you know, the salmon, fish, you know. You look at the Mexican, their historical food is going to be the tortilla. There's going to be, you know, the different things that they eat, but it's all good quality food. Then you look at the Chinese, all right, and the Chinese got their shrimp fried rice. They got, you know, all of their different delicacies that they eat that are their historical food, okay? So every culture you looking at, they're eating a delicacy historically that is pretty much good. Now you have, you know, your weird ones on the spectrum, but it was by choice. Now, look at our historical food. Hog guts. Animals' feet. Okay? Animals' tails, animals' tongues, animals' ears, animals' genitals. It's time for us to take back control of our families and our family situation, because men sow pride into their family. When a man is in charge of a family, the children are proud of their last name because they have something to be proud of. Okay? We need to stop allowing the government to have generational wealth of making us cowards. So then they get you in these courtrooms and stuff, and they say, you better not come around this child. You better just get this woman this money. You better shut your damn mouth. You better take your ass on. And then out of fear of going to jail, being hurt, losing your job, having to start all over again, all of the mess that happens, okay? Then when you do, if you better yourself, she can take you back and get raises and prey upon you. Everything that they have done to make you lose focus, lose sight of my child, okay? We have to fight back. We have to fight back. We have to say that we want our own generational wealth, okay? My son can, I can start a business when my son is like 9, 10 years old. And by the time my son is 20 years old, my business will be open 10 years. Or my sons and my daughters, okay? And together we will accomplish this. And instead of, you know, a family of 4 being the first ones to step out and accomplish something in America, no, they will be benefiting off of the hard sweat and labor that their parents did to build something for them, okay? But if the government has the kid for 10, 20, 15 years, who's benefiting off of this labor? And this is their ultimate motive. This is why they have fought so hard to make sure that the father is not around to sow discipline, to make sure the father is not around to teach the wise choices to be made, to make sure that the father is not around so that the children will be out of order and able to be shaped and molded by what society decides that is the new whim. we have to understand that this is the long game that we're playing. This message that I'm bringing out, I'll probably listen. If we don't come together as men and recognize that our government has made its own pact against us, and we have to stand up and redress this situation, okay, I'll more than likely be dead and gone, and this will still be an issue that we're talking about. Okay, my purpose is to bring awareness to this because I have enjoyed raising my sons. Me and my sons have a beautiful relationship. Okay, I just shared with you how they paid for my vehicle getting fixed and how I'm going to be broadcasting to you from fishing spots in the future. Okay, I have a lifelong bond with my sons, okay, and my grandchildren. I want the same thing for every male in America, because there has been nothing more beautiful in my life than being a father, raising my sons, dropping them off at college, watching them grow into the men that they have become, okay? And then the other thing that's so beautiful is I still have the upper hand because of my years of wisdom, so I'm continuing to provide knowledge, all right? I'm continuing to be a leading guide because I'm showing the proper way to deal with situations, to handle yourself. You understand? So they look to me and say, how would daddy handle this situation? If my sons get into something, they're not going to be hollering for their mama. They're going to tell somebody, call my daddy. And this is what I want to become commonplace for every male in America. Because boys are supposed to want to be like their fathers, not want to be like their mothers. Okay? Now look, we understand the long game is starting your business, working your business, that it may only start to become a success when your children get to be teenagers, but you will have something to hand to them, that they will have been working with you, that they will grow even further than what you did, and they will have something to eat off and then offer to their children. If your children don't have no way to eat, you don't get grandbabies. And the government knows this. That's why they take over the job of feeding them. They take over the job of provision. And if you start this business, if whatever it is, you know, your family could just be cooking suppers every weekend, but faithfully doing it and get known for it. Whatever it is, do something and have something to hand to your children. But above all, we have to stand up and be willing to fight and die, you know, because our children are the most important thing on this earth. Ladies, I have a question. Excuse me. I have a question. If you never had a father, right? How do you know how a man act and what a man do? Because you didn't grow up seeing one. So if you have no examples, how are you telling a man what a man is supposed to do and how a man is supposed to act? I just want to know. Somebody, if you could please leave answer in the comments to that question, I really would appreciate it. You know, but back to where we were. So now that we understand who our enemy is, you know, it's not the woman, it's not the man, it's the government that's making these laws that's in bed with titans of industry. We have to decide if we're going to come together and if our children are worth the sacrifice for us to unify, go on strike in this country and bring everything to a standstill until they pass this legislation that allows fathers to be fathers to their sons. You understand me? All across this nation. all across this nation. Also, we want child support changed. Child support should be changed to in a manner where if child support helps the family, that's what they're doing. They're helping the family. Oh, nobody owe you shit. If the father has the child and you're helping the father, you help the father. The mother don't owe you shit. If the mother has the child and you help the mother, the father don't owe you shit. This is the way we want to change it. We don't want them to have the power to be punishing parents and preventing them from being able to better themselves to one day mature and be able to come around and help their child. And if they not, let them ride that boat too. But it is not the government business to be out here trying to punish parents for financial gain. We have to stand up to this immoral act. And they're using it so that they can create slave labor right under our nose of our own babies. How bold is that? Now, last but not least, I really want to say, pick you a mate that will be down with you no matter what. Now, I ain't talking about no crazy shit like violence. You know, a person gonna knock you in the head or whatever, or, you know, hurt you and have you in fear. Of course, do what you got to do to be the only one standing up telling the story so that death can do you part. Then, like the words say, then you can be able to move on with your life. But pick you somebody who will be with you for real through thick and thin. Don't pick somebody who wants you. Pick somebody who needs you. Because wants come and go, but needs stay. You'll need to eat. You'll need to breathe. You'll need to drink some water. Okay? Needs don't go nowhere. And that's the trouble. We picking people we want instead of picking people we need. And then when the chips get down, the chips get hard, you know, we're around here divorcing outside of the authority that we were given. It's okay if you and this person fall on hard times and y'all gonna be poor. That's all right. Struggle, pay your bills. You know, if you got loyalty between the two, that's more important than anything in this world. Stick together, stay together. Remember, you have children watching. It doesn't matter how old you get. Your children are still watching. So pick somebody who's going to be there with you. Whether you're sick, whether you're well, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you can go on vacation or whether you can't go on vacation. If y'all got to go shopping at the Goodwill, she don't care because she love you. You understand me? If y'all making groceries at the salvage store, he don't care because he love you. We got to get back to leaning and depending on one another and realizing that only us will take care of us. We have to turn our back on all the government programs, the food stamp, the welfare, the Section 8, everything until they make it about the family and stop making it about the individual. That's how they are driving a wedge between the family so that they can keep on getting product for their prisons and their penitentiaries, so they can keep on getting product for their evening news, for their low-wage income jobs, all right? No. Do you realize that if you've been here and you got children and they been here and they like almost 30 years old, okay, you realize how much time you've been here? Let's say you 55, 56, your children are 30 years old. You see what I'm saying? Look, all that time. You trying to tell me y'all couldn't start no kind of business? Y'all couldn't have done something with all that time? And the government knows that you can. They know that if they stop preying on the family like they are, families will come together, get their credit straight. Families will come together and start business and do all kind of things. So men, this is the civil rights issue of our time. Okay? If there is no other reason to stand up and fight and die. Our children are the reason to stand up and fight and die. We can no longer allow the government to continue to destroy family. Okay? And if you've been listening this long, I really want to thank you. All right? I've been your host, Dr. Sausage. And my cash app is $Gil Muse. Okay? That's Gill, capital Gill. Okay? Capital MUSE. You'll see my picture pop up until YouTube monetize me. I'm just a young page getting started. All right? And thank you once again for listening. I'm going to turn you over to DEESE, 985 DEESE, featuring Eric Butler. And the song is called Welcome to Hell.
Show me thy ways, O Lord. Teach me thy path. Lead me in the truth and teach me. For thou art the God of my salvation. On thee do I wait all the day. Yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Amen.
Oh! Hey, yo, the sun never shines here. Man, it's dark all the time here. No law, justice is blind here. It's just criminals and crime here. Evil prevails here. And the angel of death